Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, great and wonderful people of Biafra, lovers of freedom all over the world. I greet you and I welcome you to this evening exposition. While you are joining, share this video, invite others to join. While you are joining, are you watching on YouTube at Judge Money Blog Africa? Don't forget to hit the subscription button and don't forget to like the video for the algorithm to do the sharing wherever you are watching from on Facebook. Follow the page, like the video and share the video above all. We are here this evening to actually make some analysis and we are also focusing on the statement made by this man called Joseph from Europe. Joseph from Europe, where he talked about Europe being a garden while other places are jungle. So we are going to be touching on that. We are going to be sending a strong message to him. It is true that you must have come across this video. You must have seen the video in several occasions, but the only thing that you have not seen is somebody actually addressing the video. Somebody who addressing the video, because it is very, very imperative that we continue to remind the world and actually bring it back to you to tell you and explain to you what, whenever those who place you where you are, whenever they make a speech, you will be able to understand them. First of all, let me make sure that we are coming out clear on Facebook. I don't even know if we are. Okay, Facebook, I have to go in. Yeah, just joining Facebook right now. We are on YouTube. Yeah, I notice YouTube. If you are watching, welcome. Those who are just joining on Facebook right now, you are welcome to this program. Share the video, invite others to join. Share the video, invite others to join. You are welcome to this program, where we are going to be navigating few things, a lot of things, that most of it, mostly the challenges that we have actually seen, and some of the statements made by some people in Europe. We are going to be analyzing those this evening. Of course, I've said that before, but I'm saying it again for those of you who are joining us on Facebook right now. I want you to share the video, invite others to join. Where do we start? Are we going to start on your presidential candidate who is falling asleep as if he is suffering from some kind of problem? But it is old age. We are not actually mocking him. We are actually trying to understand those whom they will always present to you to call them your political leaders. So that's exactly what we are trying to do. We are not mocking people's old age. But if you know that you are old to serve the public, it is better you step aside, and stop actually pushing, stop forcing it. Now that is going to actually remind you that the only thing that they want in Africa, it is power. Everything that they are looking for is all about power. There is nothing else. If you look around the leaderships, the positions, and everything that they are doing, the leaders of of our places, they only want power. Even if they are about to die, they still want power. But there is no problem. We are going to address that. There is also a child you see in the picture here. Let me bring that picture again. there is a child that you can see in that picture. That child, those kids, they were actually abused by the parents. We are going to actually address that as well because it is very important. These type of things are not something that we're supposed to be seeing in this time. We are supposed to be, better in everything we are doing. Don't forget that we are Facebook, YouTube. They are actually suppressing us, and they're doing whatever they can to make sure that they suppress this message not to, get to its destination. But we will continue to push until something happens. So, great and wonderful people of Biafra, first of all, let me start with this. I am going to actually show you the video of this man because we are going to start from our way to home. Let me show you the video of this guy. I'm not going to bring it to the screen because most of the time when we bring those videos to the screen, it becomes a problem. They report you after making the video. So it is part of the things that we are actually suffering. So as a result, we are doing everything to mitigate such mistakes. So first of all, let me remove this in front of us. All right, I want you to see this video. I'm going to do it through the phone. Of course, so many of you must have come across this man. You must have come across this man who made a video saying that Europe is a garden and the rest of them, they are jungle. Now we are going to do a analysis, in-depth analysis on this statement made by this guy. I'm not going to bring the video on your screen. I am going to play it through this phone, and I want you to pay attention. So we are not, we are actually oh, Facebook. I don't know. Facebook is doing all it can for us to not to preach this gospel, but the gospel we shall preach. We must preach the gospel regardless of what they do. So let us do this. Let me play that video. Let us play the video before we proceed. Listen up.
We have built a garden. Yes, Europe is a garden. We have built a garden. Everything works. The rest of the world, most of the rest of the world is a jungle. And the jungle could invade the garden.
Now, this man, I don't think he is, I don't think this man is actually from Western Europe. She doesn't sound like a person who is from Western Europe, because there is something, how I wanted to, present this analysis about this comment made by this man. He said Europe is a garden, but let us actually listen to it until the end so that I will find out exactly what is the motive behind what he said. Pay attention.
Yes, Europe is a garden. We have built a garden. Everything works. The rest of the world, most of the rest of the world is a jungle. And the jungle could invade the garden. And the gardeners should take care of it.
What's the difference between a garden and a jungle? A garden's a nice place where civilized human beings walk around. A jungle is the heart of darkness, where wild animals live. Now, many people in Africa, Asia, Latin America remember very well how in the name of civilization, European colonialism treated them like wild animals, enslaving them, torturing them, and even exhibiting them in human zoos. Therefore, when the highest diplomat of the European Union compares Europe to a garden, but especially the rest of the world to a jungle, the message these people hear is that Europe is still driven by neocolonialism.
Thank you.
Yes, Europe is a garden.
The reason why I actually tried to play the video and I see a counter narrative, somebody countering the video in the same European Parliament, because this is where they are gathered. I don't know if it is in European Parliament or where they have gone for their program in the international stage. So he said that Europe is a garden. Europe is a garden and the rest of the world is the jungle. And the jungle could invade the garden anytime. So what does that mean? The next person who actually spoke on this video, he actually countered what this man said. And what this man is talking about, he is talking about the Europe. And I am not actually arguing that Europe is a garden. Europe is indeed a garden that was built by people. And if they call the rest of the world a jungle, you will not blame them. You wouldn't blame Europeans because they call the rest of the world a jungle. Do you know why I say you wouldn't blame them? You cannot blame them because they call the rest of the world a jungle, because they are the ones who actually took it upon themselves and decided, woke up one morning after all their thoughts, they decided we are going to go to the rest of the world. We are going to actually find a way to subjugate them, milk them, exploit them, and bring it to our land and make everything that belongs to them belong to us. And we build this nation to the extent that, it will be the heaven on earth, where this rest of the nations will be running to come and dwell. And while at it, they did not actually think about, they never thought about what could be, when these people you've been exploiting, you've been stealing from, you've been, doing all sorts of things in order to make sure that they are subjugated. Now, what if they wake up at some stage in life? What is going to be Europeans' response? And that response is the same thing that they are actually indirectly deliberating on. As condescending they are sounding, it is actually a deliberate conversation that they are having there. How do we actually prevent these other nations from waking up, from actually understanding how we have exploited them, how far we have gone in subjugating them, how far we have gone in placing them in hunger and starvation, and how far they have gone in making themselves higher above every other nation? So that is exactly the reason why this guy presents that narrative or argument. It is not accidental. This has been the problem and the worries of every European. these people that are living in the jungle, and this place we have, purposely made a jungle, how do we make sure that they do not wake up? How do we make sure that they do not realize what we have done to them? How do we make sure that they will continue to be in their jungle until thy kingdom come? That is a deliberate conversation that they are making. It is only, they said, he said, we have to prevent those who in the jungle from invading the garden, because they are now seeing the signs of awakening. They have seen the sign of this sleeping dog that is actually waking up. They are seeing the sign. So that is the reason why they are coming to a conversation. They are actually being so insecure that they have to come together. If it occurred to one person, he has to send it as an indirect message to the rest of them. We have to come together. We have to start discussing how do we actually stop the invasion of these people living in the zoo from invading our garden, which we have built with their blood, with their sweat, with their resources, with everything that they could use to make themselves greater. How do we prevent them from coming in? It is their own, narrative. It is their own discussion. And this discussion is what is on the table. Now, they have to bring it out so that somebody will start talking about it, so that they will also hear the minds of these people living in the jungle. That is the reason why he did not mention exactly where he is referring to, but everybody knows that he is referring to Africa. Because you cannot tell us that if you go to Arab nation is no longer a jungle. Most part of the Arab nation is not a jungle anymore. Asia, some part of it might be a jungle according to them, but most part of Asia, they are no longer a jungle. They are able to present their cause in the international stage. They are able to defend their cause in the international stage. So the place that is referring to is the place where they have surplus of invasion or surplus of exploitation, which is no place than Africa. We have to prevent these people living in the jungle from invading the garden, because the time they are waking up every day, there is a lot of campaign, there is a lot of teaching, there is a lot of actually, revolutionaries going on or movement going on. We have to now start talking about these things to make sure that we do not get taken by surprise. That is the plans of these people. Whatever this guy said, it is actually their plan that is giving them sleepless night. I want you to listen to it again. Listen to it again, so that you will understand what where I am going.
Yes, Europe is a garden. We have built a garden. Everything works. The rest of the world must.
Europe is a garden. We have built a garden. Everything works. The rest of the world is a jungle. So now, everything works in Europe, right? What is working in Africa? Is it leadership? The answer is no. Is it infrastructure? The answer is no. Is it what do you call it? Development, or there is nothing? Is it technology? Is it schools? It is not working. So we are on earth, is the jungle. It is jungle that is meant for black monkeys, for the monkeys. Remember, you are referred to as a monkey. And where does a monkey domicile? A monkey is domiciled in the zoo. That is the reason why they do not want these monkeys. They are very insecure about this monkey from the zoo coming in their millions into the garden to take the ripe apples, the ripe bananas that has been, nurtured by them with the blood and the, sweat of Africa as a manure. Why are we folding our arms and watching these people waking up every day? Watching these revolutionaries speaking, preaching every day. Why can't we find a way to mitigate this message, to mitigate these movements, to mitigate these things that is happening around the world, that the whole world is waking up from their slumber? That is actually the message this man, wherever he come from, it does not matter, he's an European. He said that Europe is a jungle, and we are living in a jungle, and they must be wary of those in the jungle invading those in the garden, because those in the jungle are realizing now. He didn't say this path. I am actually making bringing your mind to it, to exactly what he meant by saying whatever he said there. We have to prevent them, because if they wake up, our own is finished. That means this garden we build will no longer be ours. That is the insecurity. And that means these places we are bringing manure to actually make this garden to be greener and to be a better place for the people who dwell in it to live in it. It will no longer be easy for us to access those things. Therefore, we need to start making a backup plan. That is exactly the message this guy is sending. And that is, let's listen to it to the fullest.
Europe is a garden. We have built a garden. Everything works. The rest of the world, most of the rest of the world, is a jungle. And the jungle could invade the garden. And the gardeners should take care of it.
What's the difference between a garden and a jungle?
Now the gardeners should take care of the garden, because the jungle will invade the garden. Now, there was a person who actually tried to challenge him on his, on his statement. Somebody decided to give him a direct challenge on this statement. I don't know if it is in the same building or somebody who analyzed that video, who cut it out and analyzed it.
It's a nice place where civilized human beings walk around.
Okay, I believe it is in the same parliament where they are actually making this speech. So now I want you to listen to the person who countered that narrative, who took offense from what this man said. A man who is deliberate about what he said. It is not a mistake. It is actually a bombshell. Let us listen to this man.
A jungle is the heart of darkness, where wild animals live. Now, many people in Africa, Asia, Latin America remember very well how, in the name of civilization, European colonialism treated them like wild animals, enslaving them, torturing them, and even exhibiting them in human zoos. Therefore, when the highest diplomat of the European Union compares Europe to a garden, but especially the rest of the world to a jungle, the message these people hear is that Europe is still driven by neocolonialism.
Did you hear that? The next question is that Europe is still being driven by neocolonialism. it is still being driven by neocolonialism. That is his own understanding of the message. That is his own understanding of the message, actually. And he said that they are trying to prove to you that we are still driven by the power of neocolonialism. That is exactly what it is saying. But in my own point of view, he said, well, that is exactly what they mean, but giving it, in-depth analysis that you may understand exactly what they are talking about. It is that we have to find a way to renew our plans, to renew our arrangement with these people, that they will never ever wake up to challenge us, because they believe if you wake up, you will take everything that they have actually stolen from you. They believe if you wake up, they will no longer have what they called a free nation, because what makes a free nation is the economy. So that is exactly the reason why they are being very, very, scared, insecure in that regard. So let me leave it here, because of course it is a topic that they would not want us to preach. It is a topic because how will they want you to preach when you are actually exposing their secret plans, when you are actually exposing whatever they are doing? Facebook, it will be their pleasure to actually make sure we do not move. Likewise, Google, they have also bought them over. Yeah, but there is no problem. We will continue to wait until the money they gave them is finished. We will actually bring these programs back. We don't care. All we know is that this message must go to where it belongs. Now, I am leaving that one behind. I believe that you have gotten the point. They will never allow you to wake up. They will never allow you to do anything that will help you to thrive. They will never allow you to try to stand on your feet or build an independent nation that is not driven by neocolonialism. That is something they don't want you, and they will never ever want it, because that is the garden, the jungle invading a garden. That's exactly what they're saying. If you build a free nation, if you are able to actually be free, have independent nation, and build your economy, it is the jungle invading the garden, according to them, according to those neo-colonialists. So let us now talk about this child there is a child you see in the pictures where I showed you earlier. A child, you can see this child in front of these photos. Those two kids were actually being beaten, abused by their own parents. If you can imagine this type of devil, wicked activities of a parent, if you can imagine this, I know that so many of you who have lived in free world will condemn this, and even you might even be angry to the extent if the parents of these children are right in front of you, you might have actually try to condemn them and even to death. You might even actually try to imprison them for good, because you know, understand the gravity of what they did to these children. You understand the exact meaning of what they have done to these children. If you look at the picture in front of you, the picture on the below, like, left hand side corner, I want you to look at it. You will see the body of these children. They were maltreated, and apparently I saw that even the parents were arrested. But I want to tell you the real reason behind this. The real reason behind these parents beating their children in this regard, I can assure you, it is not because they don't love their children. I want you to listen, pay very good attention before you cut me, you misunderstand me. It is not because they do not love their children, or because they are very wicked. They are wicked for doing this to their children, of course, but we need to look at the psychological aspect of it. We need to look at their own environment in order to understand what triggered this type of devilish act against the children. Then you will come to a realization that Nigeria you see today, Nigeria, they have destroyed so many lives. Nigeria have destroyed a lot of human beings. When you see them walking, you will think that these people are actually free people, or people that are actually okay in their mind. They are walking without you realizing that these people that are walking, they are not free people. These people that you see that are, engaging or involving themselves in such act, they are not okay. The environment has destroyed them. The exposures have destroyed them. The things that is the traumatic event around them has destroyed them. That is the reason why you will never, understand the pain in the mind of these people. You will, if you go deeper, I know if you judge them as a free person, you will actually take them to life imprisonment for doing such things to the children. It is inhuman. It is wickedness. This is the reason why you are called a jungle, because you act like a wild animal in the jungle. It does not actually take you a minute to take a life. It does not take you a minute to kill each other. It does not take you a minute to do these things. Do you know why? The reason why you are doing these things, it is not because you are supposed to be doing it, or it is the life that you have chosen. It is because you are being driven by the traumatic event that has affected your mind, that your mind is no longer in a working order, that your mind is no longer if it is actually, to put it in one sentence, you have a psychological problem. You have a psychological problem, and the way you behave, what you are actually presenting, or what you are doing, the way you are carrying yourself will determine, or will show people who can understand that you are not okay. People are working, going to their normal businesses, but you don't understand that they are not okay. These people, they have different types of problems. Being driven by the trauma that they are facing in Nigeria. Being driven by the, frustrations that they are facing in Nigeria. That is exactly what is actually bringing a trauma to them. If they cannot handle this trauma, the next thing it will resolve to what it is called psychological problem. these people, they will be actually be having a serious psychological problem. Some of them might become bipolar. Some of them might become, even this such trauma can actually give you a brain tumor. Can give you a brain tumor. You will not understand what you are going through because you are not exposed to such education. You are not exposed to know that things that happens around you can actually create an impact or a vacuum in your life that you might not understand that they are affecting you. Every mind of every black person, they need to undergo what is called rehabilitation. They must undergo rehabilitation. Because what we are going through as black people, it is extraordinary. If a white man from Europe pass through what you are passing through, it will resolve them into maybe committing suicide, or maybe because they won't be able to handle what you are handling. And they understand these things, that there are traumas, that they understand that there are things you cannot expose to a child. But not in Nigeria. You will find people, dead bodies piling up all over the place. In an event of accident, a child will be there watching. It will traumatize them. You will not know that exposure has actually destroyed this child. They will be growing up with such things until to the adult level. Then they will start recalling these events. It will start actually disturbing their minds until it resolves into a psychological trauma or psychological problem. Is it the poverty? Is it the torture? Is it this marginalization? Your government are not even actually trying to do anything to make it better. They always make it worse. So that is the reason why our people need to go through a healing process. Our people, the reason why we are always bringing this campaign, this teaching, it is for you to understand that there are many things that you are going through. There are many things you are going through that without you knowing, because you are not exposed to actually acquire such knowledge that the things that you see can actually affect your brain from its original function. That is the reason why you find so many people, their frontal lobe is no longer working, because they are destroyed. They are consumed by traumatic events. They are consumed by poverty. They are consumed by survival of the fittest. So in that regard, they become vulnerable. Part of them become vulnerable. But when you engage them, they will see themselves as the most wise person. As the most wise person. It is called ignorant. Ignorant person will always see themselves as the most intelligent, most wise, most understanding. That is ignorant person for you. So the parents of these children, they are not supposed to be sent to prison. They are supposed to be sent to mental asylum. They are supposed to be sent to, where they will actually observe, actually evaluate their mental, state. Because a person who does this to a child can kill a person. It means that they are not okay mentally. That is exactly the message. We continue. There is other things that I want us to look at. There is something I want us to look at. It is something about Mazen Nnamdi Kanu's siblings talking about SOLUDO'S call for release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu to him. I want to actually, present this piece that I come across, which said that even the SOLUDO that is calling for releasing Nnamdi Kanu to him, is SOLUDO eligible to stand as a surety that they are claiming that they want to stand for Mazen Nnamdi Kanu? Is he eligible to stand such? Let us actually find out. I believe it is this. I'm going to play it on the phone so that it doesn't come double. It is an interview granted by this channel right in front of you. Let's go there first.
I am now joined by the public interest and human rights lawyer, Enibehe Effiong. We're talking about Southeast insecurity and the disagreements between IPOB and Governor Soludo on Nnamdi Kanu. Thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
All right, let's get straight to business. Governor Soludo has called on the federal government to release the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, to him. Any legal implication to this?
The answer is no. What Mr. Soludo said is entirely political. It is without any legal consequence. The first point to even make is that by virtue of his position, virtue to visa, he is not even eligible to stand as a surety for anybody in Nigeria. That is because under section 308 of the Constitution, a governor has immunity not only from prosecution, not only from civil action. When you look at the language of section 308, it is very expansive to the extent that any person that is entitled to immunity under that section, the law says no process of court can be issued that is capable of compelling the appearance of that person. Now, what is surety? If someone is arraigned in court, let us assume that before we even get to whether there is even a basis for, his proposition or not. When someone is arraigned in court and that person is admitted to bail, the court requires that person to produce a surety for someone to enter into a recognizance. Now, in the event that that person jumps bail or violates the term of his bail, and the court is to issue a warrant for the arrest of that person, the court can require the surety to issue cause, to show cause why the sum that the person has entered into recognizance should not be forfeited to the federal government or to the state government as the case may be. In another instance, the court can even require that person to come to court to explain the appearance of that person. So technically speaking, because of the implications of the immunity clause, a governor is not someone that is capable of standing as a surety for any person in law. It is simply not possible, because that will entail that he has to go to court, he post an affidavit, sign bail bond and all that. What happens if Nnamdi Kanu does not attend court? Can the governor be compelled to produce him? The answer is no. So what Soludo said was just a political statement. But the question is to stand surety for what exactly? Because as of today, as I'm speaking to you, there is no charge known to law in any court in Nigeria to my knowledge that Nnamdi Kanu is facing. The charge that he was facing before the Honorable Justice Yaku has been declared a nullity, has been set aside by the Court of Appeal.
Now, this is where I am going to leave it. This is exactly what, this is a lawyer talking here. And the family member, which is Emmanuel Kanu, came to, when we countered the activities of Ejimako, who came to say that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu appreciated SOLUDO'S call, Of course, he has to appreciate it, because that is exactly the way they have gone to tell him, hey, your friend Soludo say you should be released. You know, he said you should be released. They did not say to him, he said he is going to stand a surety for you. Now, surety on what basis? You find out those who has been clamoring, release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu unconditionally. They start buying the story of Soludo. They have started buying the story of Soludo. Now a lawyer is telling you, let me make sure it's not coming double. Buying the story of Soludo. Now a lawyer is telling you that even Soludo does not have that, you know, what it takes to stand a surety. Now another lawyer that is not actually the lawyer presiding over the case, unlike Ejimako, is telling you that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu has committed no crime. The court has declared all the charges leveled against him null and void. So now, he is a free man already. Why would anyone want to stand a surety for him? A learned lawyer is speaking. But the people who call themselves family member, the people who call themselves special counsel, you did not understand or think about all these things before you actually presented this, you know, this issue to Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. And now, Emmanuel Kanu, you come to say that everybody or anybody who is countering Soludo's statement that person is an enemy to Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. On what basis? On what basis? You know, this that you also said that we should that the person you should be watchful of that person or wary of that person. That was what you said. The most important thing is that Soludo made a statement in a campaign ground. This statement did not come in the last months or since October 13th, when Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, your brother, was discharged and acquitted. It waited for how many months? 3 months plus. 3 months plus, or 3 months plus, yes. It only come on a campaign ground after having this host with Atiku. And now, you have to understand what is going on here. Atiku now went back telling you that he will be voted as a president, he will restructure Nigeria. Don't you see the connection between all this shenanigans? Don't you see where it is all heading to? Bring him out for me, I will stand a surety. Only after Atiku's visit, hosting Atiku. And now Atiku want to restructure Nigeria. It's not a coincidence. This is part of the shenanigan, because Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is now what they use for their bait. He's now a bait for them. But in this game of chase that they are playing, we have proven to them that we are the master. Because whatever they are doing right now, it is actually playing a game of chase. Which IPOB, we are the master. Regardless of who they will use to come and actually make us to lose focus, be it a familiar spirit, that is exactly what you need to call these people, familiar spirit. They use them to actually come and make us to derail from our wisdom, or derail from our objectives. But it will never work for them, because SOLUDO'S call for Mazen Nnamdi Kanu to be released to him, it is an insult. SOLUDO'S call for standing as a surety to Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, it is a narrative. It is a narrative. The earlier you understand it, the better for you. Those who said that people like us, that they should, be wary of us, like Emmanuel Kanu. You say you should be wary of those who are calling or actually trying to correct Soludo from the narrative that he is trying to present to the world. And if you are not careful about it, they will buy it. They will buy it. Because that is the off-ramp that this imposter-led government is looking for. They are looking for where to off-ramp with this problem that they have found themselves into. So they have to sell that narrative. They have to present the narrative. If it sells, they will actually utilize it. Now, so that they will actually prevent Mazen Nnamdi Kanu from even speaking exactly what happened to him. They will prevent him from actually being a free man who can speak anywhere he wants to speak. That is exactly these things that they want to start selling to us. And we cannot buy it because we are not stupid. That is the reason why in this struggle, there are people who are chosen to be the leader. There is a structure, and this structure is the structure that will make decision not based on their emotion. They will make a rational decision. They will make a rational decision that will be in favor of what we are fighting to achieve. Not a decision based on our emotion. Because before you engage in freedom fighting, you need to clear your mind first. You need to study what is your history. You need to understand your problem. You need to understand how you've been manipulated. You need to understand what led you to captivity first. If you understand these things, then it means that you are ready to engage your enemies. That is the way it is. Now, I am going to be quick. I am leaving it there behind. Let me bring to you another one. Because we have been saying and talking every time we talk about the imposter in Asorok. Every time we talk about the imposter in Asorok. There is a question that was asked by some journalist. I want to actually present this. I am going to present it, but let me bring it through the phone as well. Listen.
And I want to ask you a question again, moving away from Lagos, even moving away from panels. The recent comments, which are today's This Day front cover of the governor of Zamfara State, Mr. Bello Matawalle, saying that if Nigerians knew who was behind the kidnappings, our mouths would be agape and what have you. Similar comments were made by his counterparts in Katsina State, Bello Masari. Now, we know that Section 308 of the Constitution does not, even though it confers immunity, it's quite limited, as was tested in court a few times by the late, great Gani Farami. So if there's no legal protection for making these kinds of claims, what nature of protection is there? Because you and I could not publicly make such a statement. The JSS would swoop in immediately. The same JSS that has waded in to the strike with the Cattle Herders Association, they have invited those people. But they have not invited these governors to shed more light into these people terrorizing Nigeria.
Well, I will answer by asking a question. Where is the commander-in-chief? I don't know if you can tell me. Where is the commander-in-chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria?
Where is Buhari?
Well, you have to answer the question yourself.
Dr. Bati, I don't know.
The journalist is trying to secure his own head. He's trying to protect their own things. You know, that is exactly the reason why he said, but you have to answer the question yourself. He is trying to protect his head and his their journal company or their media house, because those presidency in Aso Rock might be taking their license or whatever it will be, what they will do to them for allowing somebody in their platform to speak the truth. So where is your Buhari? Where is your president? In all these things, you have never seen him talk. Listen.
Question yourself.
Dr. Bati, I don't know. My simple answer is that I do not know where the commander-in-chief is. There is a clear lacuna in the presidency. You can't convince me to the contrary. When somebody went to the ballot, this is a man who sought power for 12 years, 2003, 2007, 2011. He wanted to be president by all means. Nigerians gave him a chance in 2015. Despite his failures, the mandate was renewed in 2019. And as of today, we are being ruled by proxy. Gabashew is the one issuing, offensive statements every day, telling us what the president is saying, as if the president is incapacitated. Where is the president of Nigeria? Because when these governors are saying these things, when some of them pretend to be helpless or are genuinely helpless, where is the commander-in-chief? We saw our, Air Force men who were involved in the unfortunate air disaster mishap. They were buried. The president was not there. Our troops are being slaughtered in the north. The president is not there at their funeral. When last did the president talk to Nigerians? When last did we see the president grant a media chat? When last did we see the president speak with the victims of these kidnaps? When last did we see the president personally taking responsibility for the killings and the rampage that is going on?
How do you expect a person who had already died? The reason why you will not see whoever that they have placed there speak in Nigeria, it is because they know that Nigeria will know. That is the reason why he cannot speak. But when they write a script and give to him, he will go to, international program, and he will read those scripts. Now in Nigeria, where he's supposed to be actually vibrant, up and running, because of the insecurity engulfing the whole nation, he's nowhere to be found. So what then are you going to actually say it is happening? The happenings is that you never had a president in the last 5 years. You never had a president in the last 5 years. All you had is those presidency. Group of cabals in Aso Rock. How can there be a president when the whole country is burning, when the officers that died on duty, they are being buried? This is a state burial. They will be buried with green, white, green. You are the president or your commander-in-chief of this armed force is nowhere to be found. And every time when we say Buhari is there, some people who are daft will come and challenge it. You know the reason why they will challenge it? Because they are indeed daft. They have no critical thinking. They have no frontal lobe where the critical thinkings or the critical thoughts come out from. They have no brain. Everybody is scared to talk. Where is the president that you voted for? Or you pretend to be voted for? Where is he today? all these evil things are happening in Nigeria. He is nowhere to be found. Who exactly is fooling who? It is the time you start asking yourselves that question. Who is fooling who? Because Bala Bala fellow Kabulala. Have you now seen the reason why they don't want to release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu? Are you now seeing the reason why? Because he's the only one who will bring this exposition with the whole world watching, with the whole world hearing it. That is the reason why. They don't want him to continue to ask this question. Where is the president? They don't want anybody to be asking this question. Why is insecurity, or exposing the insecurities that is engulfing the whole nation? How can insecurity touch every area in a nation? Every place in a particular nation? It means that it is caused by the leadership. Sentiments have been made. Political statements have been made. Media statement has been issued. That the people who are, if they expose the people who are causing this insecurity, people will be surprised. It means that your politicians, the government of the day is well aware of those committing this crime, those who are killing you, displacing you from your homes. But because of their feudal system of government, that they don't believe that this power will ever shift to another person. That is the reason why they will never ever, do the right thing. Because the people who are actually in the cabals are terrorists themselves, which was led by the late Buhari. When he died, they have to present this person who is there, just for them to make sure that they carry out their agenda. We are watching. This is 2023 we are. Okay, it will happen in your face. Okay, you think that they actually pretended that it is Buhari? They molded somebody and brought to Asorok. And pretending that he is your president. You think it is all for no reason? It is not for no reason. It is for an agenda. It is for an agenda. And that agenda is total Islamization or total emasculation. That is the agenda. Why do you think that you say everybody knows that the insecurity that is engulfing the Biafra region? If Mazen Nnamdi Kanu come out and speak, only speak one word, things will change. Things will change. But because they do not want it, they are making money from the insecurity. They are actually happy because they want to, as a result of that insecurity, military will be everywhere. Before you know it, Fulanis and all this Islamic agenda will be implemented because they will be trooping, terrorists into your bushes everywhere. You will still be thinking that it is all these criminals, nonchalant criminals, kidnappers and all that. You will not know that the real terrorist is in your bushes. But the ones who speak your language, the same terrorists who speak your language, pretending as if they are with you, pretending as if they are fighting the same thing you are fighting, the same ones are there. They know that if they release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, then you will be able to tell what exactly is going on in Biafra land. That is the biggest fear. They don't want you to know what is going on in Biafra land. Because all these governors, they have become Fulani slave. As a result of that, they cannot actually question. They cannot actually do anything that is good for the people. Because they have bought themselves a double bulletproof. All these people. Double bulletproof. They have bought themselves that. All these rich people who are acting, I don't care, they have double bulletproof. Because this insecurity, it is for you, it is not for them. So therefore, they don't need to disturb themselves, even though they are your chief securities. They can say, since Mazen Nnamdi Kanu can be of a significant, solution to the insecurity in Biafra land, why don't we try that process? They're supposed to come out in their number, demand, not to say they are standing surety. It means they are not yet ready to speak what they are speaking. It is act of, or it is bettered by political, diplomacy. That is exactly what is driving this narrative that they are selling. They have not come to terms with the truth. So in this regard, why do you think that there is something that will change in 2023? Why do you think that just all of a sudden, after, bringing an imposter for the last 5 years, they will just take somebody you vote in as your governor or as your president, and allow them to go into that position? You are daydreaming. You are daydreaming. But we are watching. We are going to see. And we're going to actually remind you. If they eventually put anybody like Peter Obi there, that is going to also be the end, of Nigeria. Remember Goodluck Jonathan Buhari say, I will make your position ungovernable. And he did it. This is when you will see Boko Haram, threatening even the president of Nigeria for real. Because the reason why they told you last year that the Boko Haram issued a threat to Nigeria president is for you to start getting used to it. Because they have made a double-edged sword, plan like a double-edged sword. In case you manage to keep your eyes open and not sell your vote, maybe they will put somebody there. But they want to take over all the forest before the election. So I am wondering, those who are calling for sit at home, those who are making noise, screaming no election, instead of using their capacity to be making sure that Fulani does not enter our bushes, they are going about constituting nuisance across Biafra land. They tell you that they are doing everything for your own sake. But they are doing everything for their own selfish benefit, just like every other person who found themselves in the leadership position in that Nigeria, in that contraption called Nigeria. When your bushes are being taken over by a group of terrorists, you are declaring sit at home. You are, looking for people who are, you are screaming no election. The most important thing you're supposed to do, some idiot who are supporting Tinubu, like this Bomo boy, he will tell you that the DOS is calling for, is doing P2B, because he's supporting Tinubu. And he knows that the best deal for their business is to call for no election, because that is exactly the thing that they have actually paid for. If you are able to make people not to come and vote, so that they will use it as their excuse. This is the reason why your brother did not go there. It is not our fault. You ruin yourselves. When they are not willing to even take your brother there, but they want to create an off-ramp. They want to make it easy by using some criminals to continue to act as if they know this struggle more than every other person. That's what they are doing. They will continue to act as if they know the struggle more than every other person. It is a shame. Ihe unu na-eme. Those who look at these stories and they buy it. It is the time of using your brain instead of using, your mouth. Time of brain work, not a mouth work. Ihe unu emebugo m, especially ndị Igbo. Hey! Tofiakwa. Unu amara anya na-ere na nke ala. Ebe akwala unu je unu esoro jebe. Wherever they push you, you run to there. We are in 2023. How many days left? We are watching. I get nature anya mara ebe unu ga end up. Because everything that has a beginning will have an end. Let me actually find out. Of course, you have seen that you don't have president. Let me find out if I'm done, tackling the issues that I am supposed to talk about this evening. Okay, now I think I am left with Jagaban falling asleep. This is the same person. When I look at some people, this stupid Pomo boy who is claiming we are campaigning for Tinubu. Do you do? I want to actually ask them. He was among those who will always say that you are voting that Buhari was so sickly, going up and down until he died. Now he want to vote for somebody who does not even know when they fall asleep, who does not even know when they are actually messing themselves. They want to vote for their grandfather who does not even know their age. They want to vote for a medical checkup which they've been lamenting about. Have you now seen the reason why black people are called black monkeys? Have you now seen the reason why black people are very, very difficult to be free? It is very, very difficult to get a black man free. Freedom. You actually were crying that the previous Buhari, the Buhari that died, that you voted him in, that all he does is every day in the plane going for medical checkup. But now you are calling people to again vote for a person who will live in the medical checkup internationally for some days. And upon that, you will not even know when he will die. They will wear another person's mask. They have been introduced to this technology. They will continue to use it. Now you are now exposed, making these people you claim that you have fought for, making them to actually go into another mess of another 8 years. Is that not an irony? For you to see, if you give such person money, they will kill their mother for money ritual. They will do anything for money because it is all about the money. Everything they do for money. Fortune and fame. That's what they do. All these criminals, they made themselves available, claiming they are with the struggle without you knowing that they are making themselves available so that when time like this comes, they will utilize it in order to make money for themselves. These are a bunch of wicked, ignorant set of bigots. I am going to leave it here because black people in this OG, your shame, they shame me. you people need help. A very serious help that the black people need. Why do you think that a white man will not call you a jungle and prevent you from invading the garden that they have built with your blood and your sweat? Somebody asked me actually this one Nigeria agent provocateur. You say, Judge Money, what exactly ATU? You can't even write properly. ATU saying, is it in respect of this Biafra restoration? The story is much for we to understand. If what, Judge Money, what exactly ATU saying? Is it in respect of this Biafra restoration? The story is much for we to understand you. I don't even get where you are heading to, because what you are saying, okay, I think I have now gotten the point. I want you to, this message, this comment is what somebody made in my Judge Money official platform. Judge Money official, yes. And I know the person. But there is no need of mentioning their name. Because when I was actually treating the issue of the European man calling Africa or calling Europe a garden, that the people from the, other side, zoo, will invade the garden. That's when he wrote this message. But now I want you to know that this is what I keep on saying every day. A person who does not know what a freedom fighting is, these are the people who make themselves available and tell you that they know they are the best, that they are actually the ones who are doing what it takes. A person who does not know what is freedom fighting, they don't understand that freedom fighting comes from with actually decolonizing your mind. Your mind must be free first before you obtain freedom. Your mind must be exposed to what took away your freedom. Your mind must be exposed to the evolvement of the world. Your mind must be exposed to the mathematics that the world is solving to get you to where you are. Your mind must be exposed to it. But because you lack what is called, knowledge to fight for freedom. You people believe we are here to intimidate people. We are here to educate people. We are here to educate black people in this OG who cannot understand and handwriting written on the wall, such as you that is writing jargon, John Ogugwa. That's what the fake account you use. That I know that you are autopilot, That is exactly what you people are doing every day. Trying to, act like you know, but you know absolutely nothing. It is not about the number. It is not about the number. If the number is being counted by the level of knowledge or by the level of understanding towards freedom fighting, I believe I will have the best of the number. But because they know that if you allow this person, they will explode and they will impact others. What we have come is to impact you with the knowledge that we have acquired, free of charge. That's what we have come to do. And the people that we are up against, they know. That is the reason why when we come online to do it, they restrict us. Because all they are doing is to make me to go and start paying attention to these criminals who call themselves agitators all over the place, and they are irats, such as John or Google. That is where they want me to focus my attention. But I refuse. Even if I come here, they give me one person watching. I will continue to do. I don't have time for infiltrators anymore. We have defeated them. So they will do whatever they want to do. We have exposed them. We have defeated them. We are checking the algorithm. We know when to engage and when to go out. It is time for out. We are focusing on the bigger enemy. There is time for everything. So this time is the time to focus. So that is the reason why they will do everything they have to do. Facebook, YouTube, they will do what they have to do to make sure that they suppress us. But it will never stop this message from going. We will still take it to Twitter. It will not stop the message. It will not stop me. It will not bring my spirit down. Because when God give us message, we will give it to the living beings. It is their platform. It is their Facebook. So they are doing what they want. That is the same people calling you a zoo animal, that you are living in the zoo. You might be invading their garden. They are the same people managing Facebook. They are the same people managing YouTube. They are the same people managing these social platforms we are using. So you shouldn't be surprised when we are being subjected to such treatment on Facebook. I know that it will be like this, and it didn't stop me from coming online. I will continue to come online. Because you need to know consistency, resilient. You must be resilient in everything you do. Forget about what is happening today. They will be tired. The bribe they give them will elapse. The time frame they give them for the bribe will elapse. They will open it again. That is how it works. And you must understand that narrow is the way. Narrow is the way that leadeth to life. And broad and beautiful is that way that leadeth to captivity. So we are facing the narrow way to our freedom. That is what we are facing right now. So when you come online and you find yourself in the same situation where I have found myself now, you shouldn't be worried. You shouldn't be looked back. Give the message, because each time you are motivated or pushed to come online, you have a message. Give that message. Let it there. We are not here for the fame of this, what we are doing. We are here to preach our gospel for freedom. We are here to gain freedom for our people. We are here because these are the stories we are going to tell to our children. These are the stories we are going to tell to our children. They want me to lose, what do you call it? Faith on ourselves. That's the reason why they are doing this. To lose faith on yourself, to capitulate, to lose, focus, for you to stop coming online. But we will come online more. Each time they are doing this, we will come online more. Facebook, each time we will continue to come online. Because we are not here for the fame of it. We are here to deliver the message coming from Elohim. You see the trauma that people were going through in London because of school children, bus of the school children that was engulfed by fire. It is just a fire. People were traumatized. This is what we are going through in the zoo. This is what our family members are going through in the zoo. And this, as a result of it, you had fire service to put off the fire. that you have, security agencies, professionals around available to evacuate the children, that none of them got hurt. Almost 30 of them, or more than 30 of them, they were all safe. But in Nigeria, who is going to come for their assistance? Who is going to come for their aid? You see the reason why you are called a zoo. There is nothing there that is working for anybody. When we come to actually talk about our challenges, our problem, Facebook will decide to discourage us. We are not discouraged. We are encouraged, because you are giving us an impression that what we are doing is yielding results. What we are doing is bringing a positive effect. It is affecting the enemy. So they will fight back. And that is as a result of what you are seeing Facebook and Google, YouTube doing. But until we meet again, stay safe. I believe we have treated all the topic that we had to treat this evening. I believe we have treated all of them. I believe we have treated all of them. Let's see if we have indeed treated them. Yes. Oh, we have treated all of them. We have talked about Canon Takanos and Mazen Nnamdi Kanu's family and their response. Okay, one. You see this thing that is in front of your screen, where there is a beautiful factory. It is built in the north. I think it's a garment making factory. It is built in the north. It is in the north. How many of them do you have that is built in the eastern region? You wouldn't find such things. You wouldn't find such infrastructure in the eastern region, because eastern region is only place that they need to exploit oil. Use the money realized from the oil to develop the part of the northern region. When the amalgamation is all about solving the budget deficit of these people. Are you now understanding it? Solving the budget deficit of these people. That is the reason why such infrastructure such as this, it will not be a problem building it anywhere else outside where the money is coming from. That is the reason why when you see people like Asare Dokubo protecting pipeline guide, you are guiding pipeline for people in the north, pipeline for people, for your enemy. You are guiding the pipeline, and they will be using the money that they are making from the oil coming out from your land. They will be using it to actually impoverish you. You don't have electricity. You don't have infrastructure. You don't have good water. You don't have good road. You don't have anything. But you are protecting the oil for the same people who are exploiting it, using it to develop their land. Are you now not understanding that the budget deficit of the north is the reason why the amalgamation happened? Yet, each and every day, you will come out. Because you are no longer coming out to say you are killing IPOB, because you have actually notified them and you are killing them in secret. That is the reason why those who come in the military uniform, anybody they suspect to be IPOB, they shoot at sight. Just like a voice note going around, the DSS recruiting criminals, giving them guns, telling them to join a bubago. They will have an operation. They will be going around burning people's houses. That is what the DSS is doing now. Because somebody is in the media talking rubbish, telling you there will be no election. The DSS is making use of that thing now, recruiting criminals, recruiting more in a bubago. Sometimes they tell you there is a joint team. They will go and be burning people's houses. killing people, innocent people, as a result of noise somebody make. That is what they are doing now. That is what they are doing. But the most important lesson you need to know, that budget deficit of the North is the reason why you are called Nigeria. The only reason why you are called Nigeria is you are still in that map is because of the budget deficit of the North and the Britain excesses in your resources. Excess interference and exploitation of your resources. That is that reason why you are still in that British carved called Nigeria. But until you wake up and realize that the only way you can achieve it is about you doing the right thing. And what is that right thing? Fight for your own. Fight for the release of Ohamadike. Because we need to bring calmness to our land while we continue with this freedom fighting. Because so many people, just like the interview you saw were granted by one guy, saying that the people are regretting or whatever activities of IPOB. All these are fallacy, rubbish. It is the narrative that the enemy is planning to present. No one is regretting that way. Everybody wants freedom. It is like a saying that says, people like Ilife Jinyosu, but if you tell them to die, they will not die. They like what they get from burial, the rice, the mineral, the beer they get from funeral when they attend there. But when you ask them to die for them to be buried, they will not. That is the reason why so many people they want freedom. But if you tell them what brings freedom, they rather say playing like chameleon. They will be playing chameleon. Those are the people that the enemy is trying to sell a narrative to, that will make them to say, no, if it is the way Biafra will be, we rather forget it. That has been the primary plan of the parallel group. That has been the primary plan of this, syndicate that they have introduced. But we will never capitulate. No matter how much people say, we know that we are fighting for freedom. We have gone out as an onion eji ifemalu. We have gone out there, we have gone and we have seen. We will bring that freedom, we will bring that garden to our land. And that garden is all about freedom. It is a free-minded people, it is a free nation that build a garden, that make their nation to be a garden. It is free people. So that is the reason why we start with campaign. That is the reason why we start with education. Educating our people, getting their mind ready. Getting their mind ready for what is to come. Because you cannot achieve freedom, even if you achieve freedom with your mind being bamboozled by this traumatic event of neocolonialism or the traumatic event of Nigeria happening to you. You will never do things right. You will still be like Nigeria. So you need to be decolonized. You need to be free first mentally before you will get into your freedom. Because that is the reason why, this thing we are doing, this campaign, this education we are doing, it is actually the best. It is actually the most significant thing to do for freedom. It is not about taking gun and bullet. You need to convince people. When you convince them, teach them, show them a reason beyond every doubt that they need the reason why they must stand up and demand for freedom. Then, when you know that you have educated them, they are now ready. Now you demand together for what is rightfully yours in any means possible. But in a situation whereby your people are not mentally ready, your people are not educated on what you are embarking on, or your people are not, are not yet informed about what took away their freedom and how they will get it back. Your people are not mentally, free, and you want to give them a freedom. It is actually robbing Peter to pay Paul. That's exactly what you are doing. Trying to rob Peter to pay Paul. It will never favor anyone. Because what is freedom? Starts with here. Freedom starts from here. If here is not free, you cannot get this freedom, the existent freedom, the one that is physical. It takes here being free and impacting others, and others impacting others. When all of you are impacted with the knowledge of the truth, knowledge of your freedom, now when you march, you will march, invincibly. No one will stop you. No one will discourage you. No one will lie to you, because everything that they are going to use to lie to you or to manipulate you or to scuttle your movement is being exposed before time to you. That is exactly what you need. Because so many people might be thinking we are talking about freedom, but at the end of it, you will not realize that this freedom must start from you. It must start from your head. It must start from your mind. Mind healing. Mind healing. You know what is? You must heal your mind. So that, because if we go to Biafra land, we will not tolerate such parents who are abusing their children, beating them up in such a manner that I have showed you earlier. Messing their, drawing maps on the body of their children. That is called child abuse. And those people will go to jail for it. Serious one. Because it is a serious offense. It is because they are not mentally free. That is the same thing that if it is in spirituality or in religion, they tell you that, that if they loosen you spiritually, then you will be losing physically. Let me bring it to you. Because freedom is when your mind is free. It means that you will start making decisions that will make your physicality to be free. They will make everything about you to be free. Because this mind is the kingdom of freedom. Seek ye first the wisdom. Seek ye first the kingdom, that every other thing might be added unto thee. That is the reason why Solomon prayed for wisdom. Because wisdom can only come to a person who is free, mentally free. Not a person who is stressed. Not a person who is actually mentally derailed or demented soul or destroyed human being. A freedom cannot come to you. You must be a free person. You must be mentally free before you will be able to embark on freedom fighting. If not so, do you think Mazen Nnamdi Kanu will come and waste his time behind the microphone and start educating you first? The same thing happened with Moses in Egypt. He started educating the people so that the day they will march in oneness. They will march with one voice. They will march with one, goal. Not some people will be finding a way to exploit other people. Some people will use the influence of the freedom going to politicians and using the influence of their siblings in order to go and exploit, use the name of the freedom to go and get money from the enemies while still pretending like they are fighting those enemies. No. These are the reason why you must prepare your mind. And what we are doing right now is called mind preparation. Until we achieve that, we are going nowhere. Until we achieve that, we are going nowhere. That is the reason why Facebook, YouTube, and among others, we continue to suppress that education. We continue to suppress it because they know that this education is the highest war that we can embark upon. It is exposing you to the truth, exposing you or getting you ready for your freedom. That is the only thing that they fear the most, the theoretical part of it. Once you understand the theory, the practical part of it will be easy, because now it is like when you are studying physics, when you are studying chemistry, because I believe, when you are doing, is it titration, liquid titration, or when you are actually doing, there is something they call it in chemistry, where you will be, it is something like liquid titration or chemical formula, not chemical formulas, where you will be able to, it is like you trying to bring some, two things to form a chemical substance, which is like, or creating a chemical substance, which is you can do it through, I call it titration, or chemical mixture, which, let me give you an example. Adding salt into water, because salt is soluble to water, it dissolves. When you add salt into water, that water will no longer be ordinary water, it becomes a salty water, and when it gets saturated, it will no longer absorb. So in this regard, what we are doing right now, we are doing a theory, and what I am saying is a practical aspect of chemistry. Now, what we are doing right now, it is the theory path of the fight, the struggle. So that when we study amount of salt we can add to water to get it saturated, or if you do not want it to get saturated, then you will know the amount you need to add that will be able to be soluble, or that the water will be able to take and get you the chemical that you want. So it is such as what we are doing. If you don't know it, you will go overboard. You will add until the water gets saturated, which is not the result, the final result you are looking for. So you need to be educated first. You need to be, exposed to what you are heading to. You need to be exposed to, where you are going to face is the areas that you are going to face challenges and how to deal with those challenges. That is exactly what we are doing. That is the campaign. Very, very important. But for now, I will leave it to you until we meet again. Stay safe.